Preview.
People are a big part of this, right? I mean, you got to keep your team together and keep them motivated and working together. I mean, they're going to spend long hours during a transaction. And what we see is we see a lot of turnover in the finance and accounting department. So, Ryan, why does that happen? What happens? What's going on in a transaction that makes the accounting staff or the finance staff turn over during this business transition?
Well, it's a very demanding process, right? People have their day jobs. They have whatever fire drill was going to come up in the normal course of the business, which are inevitable, on top of, now multiple requests, usually from different parties, external auditors, different consultants. So it's a lot of stress. And, these are people with their own lives outside of work. So, I try to never forget, people are people and they've got their own lives, and you want to be there to help. So, um, obviously I've been in a role to be able to step in to take things off people's plate, if it's around the transaction or just some day to day. But it's a long process. And two, I think, I spoke to this earlier, where folks can get to the transaction, you get to the finish line, you close the transaction, and there's a sense of relief for a moment that it's done, but the work is really just beginning. You've got all the integration issues, all the consolidation issues, and a number of things that just will continue to put the strain on a team. So I think setting that expectation that we can celebrate for a moment that a deal has closed, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
So, Rhonda, what's the best way to retain people retain your team and keep them motivated and keep them, moving forward? Because they are getting requests. Ryan makes a good point. They're getting requests from several different parties, and maybe they were typically used to a busy, end of the month close process, but now in the middle of the month, they're getting all these requests for data pools and reconciliations and all these things that they may not have had in the past. And so this lull in their typical work month is now, there is no lull. So talking about how do you keep people motivated and how do you keep them moving through the process?
I think the best way to keep them motivated is ensuring that you bring, people on, advisors like ourselves to help and to be, an extension of their team, to help take that burden off of them so that they can focus on their day-to-day jobs. Yes, they're the ones, still probably have to pull information and data, but there are ways that we can come in and help do that too. We can get into their systems and we can help pull the data that is necessary. We can help, perform reconciliations. Again, when we talked about working with the external auditors and those other people that are pinging them for information, we can come in and be that intermediary, right, and help them. We can work directly with those external auditors and again take that burden off of their plate so that they can continue to do their job, and then hopefully they're a little happier than when the transaction is successful.
I think I would add too that setting expectations for the team at the company to understand what's coming down the pike. I think I've often guilty of forgetting that I live and breathe these transactions. I've been through many. For a lot of people, this is the only time they're going to go through it with an organization, and it is an overwhelming event. So sometimes just being able to tell them on what to expect, and that I've seen this before, and not to worry. And I know this seems crazy, but it's normal. That goes a long way, just to kind of bring a human touch to it, so they understand, that it is going to be okay. We'll get through it.